This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Walker, and today my co-host is Caroline Legrand, and we are back continuing with our series on marketing by the months. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about March. And in the earlier episodes, I brought up the question: is this something that we would do new ones each year? And I don't think that that's going to be necessary because March is for the most part, March is March, and the things that you need to think about one year, the things that you need to think about the next. So we will be compiling all of these together into a single page where you can go get all of them. As we continue to build on it, and in some future episodes, we'll tell you where you can find that. But for right now, this is episode number 136, preparing for March's marketing. But before we get too far in, I want to thank our sponsors. Thank you to our friends at RepairPal for providing this episode. RepairPal is the key that unlocks more business for your repair shop. Learn more at repairpal.com/shops. And are you ready to convert clients to members? AppFuel specializes in creating custom apps tailored specifically for professional auto repair businesses. Visit appfuel.com to get started today. Keep your shop top of mind on the mobile device they love. Well, hey, Caroline.
Hey, Ryan. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're as we record this, we're just getting back from our holiday break. So we've been out of the office for about a week and a half or so, and just getting back into the swing of things, and needed to get this March recording done because we want to have these to where you can listen to them a couple of months before you are planning out the marketing. And so you'll be able to, we'll be recording these throughout the year, and you'll be able to listen to them and hopefully have plenty of time to be able to start working on that month's marketing. And ultimately, we really feel like the thing to do is to sit down, towards the end of the year, third, fourth quarter of the year, and plan out your entire year's marketing. But some of the things that we talk about in these episodes, like these little days of the year and all of that, they don't necessarily need to be planned in your main marketing meeting that you're doing every year. That's something that you can do kind of on the fly.
For sure. I know we talk a lot about planning that whole marketing, and when Kim and I hosted the marketing planning event, some of the feedback we got was that people wanted to talk more about these social media topics. So I know it's a engaging topic. It's fun to think about. It's easy to do. But when you do set that annual marketing plan, it's always important to come back monthly, quarterly, and so on and fill in those spaces. So a lot of what we talk about on these episodes help fill in those gaps. They may drive your ideas for the whole month, but you may also see, I don't have a lot of content coming up on these couple of random days, and maybe there's something really fun going on in the National Day calendar that you could pull from. So that's why I like these.
So just a couple of reminders as we do these. First of all, always double check the dates. If you're listening to this for your 2025 marketing planning, the dates that we give you are probably going to be right, but you should double check it anyway, because we could have said something wrong. But once you get past 2025, you should definitely check the dates, because especially these days of the year, sometimes it is the third Tuesday of the month, so the actual date might be different, or sometimes it just changes. So from year to year, check these dates. But if you're going to do any marketing around it, you can go to National Day Calendar, or to daysoftheyear.com, and you can double check the dates. And also you can see a lot more, because we're just telling you about a handful of these things that we saw, just to get you thinking about the way that you might use them in your marketing. Because look, there are a ton of them that we're not bringing up, especially the ones that are revolving around food and all of that. We'll drop one in here and there, but gosh, there's a national something day every day that has to do with food of some
For
kind.
everything.
Yeah. And I would say, as I've looked through these, I would say the typical day has maybe 10 crazy holidays. But we're also not going to just be talking about these holidays. We're going to be talking about like topics of the month, things that you should be thinking about marketing just because of the time of year that it is. So let's go on and get into the topics for March.
I'll take off. This is one, Brian, that's not in your notes, but were in mine, and cannot forget about it, is Women's History Month. So we're big on women in auto care. I mean, as a woman, mostly kind of in auto care, I've got to support that. So Women's History Month is in March. That is a great time to highlight the women who work in your shop. I know so many of our clients are either female-owned shops, or it's a husband and wife duo, or their daughters work with them. So many things like that. So take that time during that month. You can do posts about each woman. You can do posts about other women in the industry who you love or that you're friends with, anything like that. But that was number one on my list. So I love that idea.
Okay, awesome. Just a general topic for March. It's still cold in March, and look, this is going to vary depending on where you're located in the country. If you're in North Dakota, that's one thing. If you're in Florida, it's a completely different animal. So, like, this may or may not apply to you, but in March it's still cold, but the warmer weather is coming. March is like I think it's the official beginning of spring. I should have looked that up before this to be 100% certain about that.
It is.
But okay, good. So, with March, you're getting into spring, and you have things like your spring maintenance, spring cleaning, that kind of thing, that you can be promoting. And then, like the spring break trips that people are going to be taking, promoting the preparation that people should be doing. I know that at my shop we would always offer pre-trip inspections, and we did this throughout the year. You could do it anytime, and we did them at no charge, because obviously it's just an opportunity for us to do an inspection on a vehicle, and if something needs to be done, it's a possible sale that we were going to make. But spring break is the time when people are going to be making these trips, and then people get really um, they get really protective of their kids, as they should, and if their kids are going on a spring break trip, and if they're driving, then they're even more likely to bring that vehicle in for a pre-trip inspection and to take care of those things that you find when you're doing that inspection.
100%, especially those in college towns, to hone in on those kids who may be traveling for spring break. Um, Another fun topic is that you start getting tax returns back, usually around March, April, May, so into that kind of middle of the first 6 months of the year. So honing in on using those tax refunds, telling people, educating people on how they can use them to get maintenance that they may have been holding off on, or larger repairs that may have been holding off on. Or if you're off-road customizations, like upper echelon shop that does really cool things, but it costs a lot of money, use those tax refunds to help build the vehicle of your dreams and get those new customizations and modifications made to your vehicle.
Yeah, or even pre-purchase inspections, because sometimes people will use that tax refund as a down payment on a new vehicle. So we'll be talking about that for in March, April, and May, because it's a big thing. There's even companies out there that do like rebate checks. Uh, it's basically a coupon is what it is, but they base it around the tax return, and you send them out to people, and it's just a promotion to get them to come in.
This is less of a topic to talk about, but more of a theme that can kind of carry you through the whole month. But March also has St. Patrick's Day, which is, I think, just a very fun one. It's very easy to kind of sprinkle in something about luck into your social media post or into your marketing messaging during the month of March, whether you offer specials and it's because they got lucky with their specials. You're lucky to have such great customers. Your customers said something about being lucky to have such a great shop in their reviews, anything like that that you can do that kind of brings in that seasonal fun. I feel like it might be my age, but St. Patrick's Day is a big deal. I feel like socially, at least. So it's a fun thing to engage with.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then if you're like us down here in Louisiana, we got Mardi Gras.
It's not usually all the way in March, though. It's It is late. Mardi Gras is in March this year. Normally it's not that late. Normally we would have talked about that in February. We did talk about it in January marketing, and today is January 7th. Yesterday was actually the start of carnival season for anybody. It was January 6th. Anybody who cares. I know I actually brought my car to Jefferson Auto Service and talked to Josh Mayoni and introduced myself over the break. And he was like, "Oh, I heard your name on the podcast. I knew it sounded familiar and I was listening to the podcast. So y'all are New Orleans adjacent enough. We better see some Mardi Gras content." That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're in Louisiana, if you're in Mobile, Alabama, because I know Mobile tries to say that they are the originators of Mardi Gras, and they're wrong, by the way. But Mardi Gras is a New Orleans thing. I'm sorry. Or if you go down into the islands, they'll fight you over it.
Yeah.
Of course, they're kind of right, but anyway, they do carnival uh,
Like
quite
for
different.
real.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, if you are in the super cold climates, we're down here in Louisiana. I learned about this from working with our shops, but potholes, because of the ground freezing, it destroys the roads. And that is something that you can definitely do some promotions around. Now, if you're in one of those climates, March might be a bit early for that. So that might be something that'll continue on into to April and even May. But if you're in one of these places where the roads freeze and the concrete or the asphalt breaks and it causes potholes, then there's a lot that you can do around that as far as marketing alignments. Um, the cold weather is rough on vehicles, so there's a lot in general that you can do.
Cold weather is rough on me.
Yeah.
It's very cold in Louisiana though right now. Like
All right, look,
hard
y'all.
freeze.
She's saying very cold in Louisiana. I think our low is 28 right now, so some of y'all are going to be laughing at that.
And the wind chill is like 22 or 18, and y'all will laugh at that. It's not snowing. We're not built for this though.
Nope,
So neither
definitely
are
not.
neither are vehicles though all the time. So protect your vehicles during the cold weather. Wear your jackets and your wool sweaters, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So allergy uh, season. You can start getting a little bit ahead of that in March. With promoting replacing the cabin filters, and then doing things like if you're a BG shop, especially, and I'm sure there's other brands out there. I was a BG shop, and man, we would sell the heck out of the FrigiFresh treatments um, for the to clean the air conditioning systems. So anything to do with allergies, are going to be spring in general.
A couple really cool weeks that happen in March with Women's Month. We have International Women's Week. So that could be a week where you may highlight everything, all the awesome women in your shop. There's also Teen Tech Week, which if you look at the why behind it, it could be about teen technology, it could be about whatever you want it to be, really. But you can take that, twist it. If you do an apprenticeship in your shop, talk about the apprenticeship programs that you offer, talk about the community involvement you have with your shop, bringing younger kids in to learn about their vehicles or become technicians. Anything like that can be used. There's also National Science and Engineering Week. The auto repair falls under STEM in terms of education. So taking those pieces, and March is a big time, I feel like, within the school year. When a lot of testing happens towards the end of the year. So um, educating people on those things, talking about the benefits of working in auto repair, anything like that, and helping grow and improve this industry.
Caroline, you missed like one of the most important weeks of the month. It is Chocolate Chip Cookie Week. Is the first week in March in
I was
2025.
I was too focused on Mardi Gras.
Hmm. Hey, look, Chocolate Chip Cookie Week is serious. And I mean, seriously, it would be a fun thing to market around and to have chocolate chip cookies there for your clients when they're bringing their car in during that week. We have. All right. So first of all, if you're not in the Facebook group, the Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind, you need to go get in that Facebook group, because there's a lot of fun discussion that happens in that group. And there are some shops in there that they will do a giveaway of the month. And they, whatever that giveaway is, it'll be the same thing throughout the entire month. And they're serious about this, creating, and I love it. But they they will go hand make sometimes gifts, or they'll just buy, gifts to give away. But but you should be in that group so that you're seeing what they're doing. But with that, you could have like a little bag with 3 or 4 chocolate chip cookies in it that gets, left in the vehicle or handed, to people when they're picking up their car. Or in our hometown, there is a State Farm uh, insurance agent that they do fresh chocolate chip cookies every day. Like they bake them in their office, and there are people that will just stop in randomly to get a chocolate chip cookie. Like, who doesn't like a chocolate chip cookie?
That's a good question. I'm sorry I skipped it.
So, all right, and then another one that would be like you could talk about this all month, maybe even at the end of February. Are you going to Vision? Vision is one of the big conferences in our industry. We talk about that often, about how you should be marketing the continuing education that your technicians and your service advisors and that you are doing. I know a lot of shops, they will shut down the shop for the end of that week and take their entire team to Vision. Um, and these things, if it's not Vision, like, what conferences, what trade shows, what learning events are you going to? But in March, Vision is the big one. We call that an ASTA, like the family reunions of the industry. So if you're going to Vision, you should be doing marketing around that.
I'll add to that Vision, and Brian mentioned any conference that you're going to. I hear so many business owners, and I say business owners because it's people I know outside of the industry, not just shop owners, who are so apprehensive about sharing what they do within their company on their social media, that if they gave their company a week off for the holidays, or they went to something like Vision, or even if they took their team just to a retreat or out to dinner, that they're very apprehensive and sometimes skeptical about posting that because they don't want people to come back and be like, oh, that's what I'm paying you for, or that's why your repair costs XYZ or this or that, so that you can go to a conference or you can go to a retreat. But one, if somebody thinks that, sorry, people are going to think bad things. Like, you have to let them just think that. They're probably not going to comment it. Um, but if they do comment it, it's really easy to flip, like, change the narrative on that and make them know that it's about investing in your team, providing better care, making sure that your team has up-to-date information on the technology, and that they have camaraderie so they work well together. And it's all for the benefit of the client at the end of the day, and for the benefit of your team, that they enjoy their work, they do their work well, and the customers and clients and vehicles end up safe. So if you're one of those people unsure about posting those things, give it a shot, because it'll probably be one of your most engaged posts on social media, because contrary to what you may feel like people are thinking about it, they like seeing it. They like seeing that you're real people.
I should do an entire episode about that topic, because I'm kind of passionate about it. And look, there's some of you that are listening that are like, I don't think that way. What is she talking about? And that's one of those things that you either think that way or you don't think that way. And I personally believe that if you're one of the people who thinks that way, it's probably because you have, like, you think the same a little bit about others when you see them doing things. And I want to shift your perspective on it if you're the person that thinks that way. All right. Let's look at your coach, for example. Let's look at your coach or your marketers. I mean, hey, would you want to work with a coach or a marketer who's broke? Like, think about that. Because that's probably not what you're looking for them to help you with in your business. You're looking for them to help you to have success. And if they're not having success themselves, then that's the wrong person to be working with. But it's the same thing. And look, I know that people don't always think this way. Um, And people have perceptions about auto repair and mechanics and all of that stuff. But in the scheme of things, like if you were on the other side of the service counter and you needed someone to do a repair on your car, would you want to go to a shop that is struggling, that can't afford to shut down the shop for a week and take their team to get trained and become better? Or do you want to work with that shop that, like, they're obviously having great success? I mean, I want to work with people who are having great success because that tells me that they're going to do a great job. So anyway, just something to think about. And I really should do an episode about that.
You should. We'll add it to the list.
All right. And then, of course, as you go through the month, don't forget about just, the birthdays, the work anniversaries, things like new tools, new shop equipment that you've purchased. And that is, every month of the year, you want to be looking at those things and seeing, is there something that we should be marketing around that?
To get into some of the days, though, there, like Brian said, sometimes there are up to 10 different types of holidays on each day. So we're just going to go through some of the maybe notable ones or ones that might be more fun to do during March. I'm skimming over our list right now. I'll start with employee appreciation is in March. So that's usually we have it listed as March 7th. I think because I know I've posted about it before, it usually falls on just the first Friday of March. So double check that. But that can be something you do on that day. That can be something done the whole month. We touch that idea a lot. It doesn't have to be on the specific day. But what do you do to show your employees appreciation? Maybe you do something specific that day, or you do things throughout that month, or maybe you just talk about what you do and like why you do it on your social media when it's things that you do on a regular basis. Think about how that would impact somebody that is possibly looking for a new job or doesn't even realize that the grass may be greener elsewhere. In your regular old marketing, just talking about the day in and day out life as a employee at your shop makes them think that they want better. So I know we always try and do things for that, at least internally, to just tell each other that we appreciate each other. And I know in the past Kim and Brian have like sent everybody lunch on those days because we work remotely and we'll kind of get together on Zoom and have lunch together, or they've sent us all messages, letters, and it's just small tokens of appreciation showing that. And it goes a really long way.
Yeah. So one that I saw that I thought would be fun to do something with is Fun Facts About Names Day. And it's March 3rd this year. And it's something where, like, okay, if I was going to do that, I would probably go around to the different people on staff, with a cell phone, shooting some video and asking them if they knew the meaning of their name. Um, if you go through any of those, like if you were having a baby and you were looking up names, and you can find out all of the information about the names. You can find out the information about last names too, and you choose which direction you want to go. But asking people, like, if they know the origin of their names and like talking about it, that could be something fun.
Brian, do you know the origin of your name?
I don't have a clue the origin of my name. Not at all.
Had to ask.
No, but I definitely should have looked that up beforehand.
You should have known I would ask. There's also a couple of fun kind of automotive related days throughout March, which they're not always so specific to being like technical, I guess, or blue collar, if there's not a better phrase for it. But in March, we also have Check Your Batteries Day, Worship of Tools Day, Sport Car Racing Day. So things like that, you can look through, see how that ties into your shop, how it may tie into your community, and see what fun things you can do with that.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got National Write Your Story Day on March 14th. That would be fun to get on video. It's like, Brian, I'm tired of hearing about video. You'll never hear me stop talking about video. But to get on video, do a Facebook Live, something like that, and talk about the story of your shop, how it came to be. And man, people love that stuff. We did episode 2 of this podcast is Kim and I's story, that talks about a bankruptcy and a failed business and all of that. And I've had a lot of people that listen to that and, love hearing the background. So yeah, National Write Your Story Day. Um, Small Business Development Centers Day. If you're not working with your local small business development center, you really should be. And it's a great way to educate other business owners about your small business development center, and maybe talk about your story with them if you have a personal story with them. Um, so fun stuff that you can do there.
Somebody did that, I think in Hammond during COVID, and they went around and it was a unrelated business, but they went around and they did like videos with every different businesses in the community, and they both just kind of talked about what they did, and it happened in multiple communities. I remember it happening in Hammond. And they would just go live on Facebook and just each talk about each other's business and like how they came about, how they've become friends, probably through the chamber or things like that. But it was one of those video we need connection, like the peak of COVID isolation kind of things. But stuff like that still goes over so well today. It's like a more modern and more natural and organic way to do some type of influencer marketing, for lack of better terms, I guess. I really enjoy seeing that. And it's really cool when you talk about getting involved within your own community to just talk about other people or team up with other businesses in your local community and talk about them rather than talk about auto repair all the time. I know we talk about marketing a lot. It's fun to talk to other companies about what they do too, or even just to hear their story. We've
Yeah.
also got some fun ones coming up as we wrap up March. I'm going to go through three because they're just fun and easy. One is World Tattoo Day. A lot of our team members have tattoos. I know we've done a post before, like guess match the person to the tattoo, and people had a lot of fun with that. So,
Mhm.
do your technicians or any members of your staff have tattoos? No, they might not be shown at work, but it just lets you show a little bit of personality or anything like that. Especially when you're trying to see like matching people up. When we posted that, it was still mostly women on our team. We've got a lot more even of a group now, but the variety of tattoos that you see on us are just funny, and seeing how the people who follow us on social media try and match them up to different people or the stories behind them um, are really fun and was a good engagement on our social media. We've also got Make Up Your Own Holiday Day. And whether this means you make up your own holiday day and that's what you make your day about, or you make a fun post about that, could be super fun. And I feel like Brian is going to want to say something about this, but I just thought it was funny. But I'll leave you with Quirky Country Music Song Title Day.
I Yeah, no, I don't really have anything funny to say about it. I don't know. It would be a fun one. I mean, come up with a country music title for the pain in the butt car that y'all have in the shop, or something like that. I don't know. I mean, some of the country music titles really are pretty crazy. The "I want to check you for ticks," or "She thinks my tractor's sexy." Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I was literally listening to country music this morning and going for a complete blank about quirky songs, but I know there are some good ones. Maybe you ask your team, what's your favorite, if they listen to country music, what's your favorite country song? And chances are one of them probably is going to say something that's one of those super quirky country song names.
Hmm.
And then finally wrapping up with March, I think, unless Brian has more to add, is National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. The history of this one might be not as relevant to owning a small business as you may want it to be or anything like that. But at the end of the day, your shop is probably a mom and pop business shop. It is a local shop within your community. It's probably a small business, all things considered, even if you're making a lot of money with it or you're super successful, a local shop within your community. Just talk about that, hone in on that. We talk about sharing your story, talk about the history of your shop, everything that you've done in your community leading up to now, and why you may consider yourself a mom and pop business shop, or why you would consider yourself a mom and pop business owner.
Yeah. So we're gonna in the show notes there will be like more of these things. But again, you go to daysoftheyear.com, national, what is it, Caroline? The other one that
National
you
Day calendar.
National Day Calendar. I prefer Days of the Year calendar.com. Our social media team likes nationaldaycalendar.com. So you go check them out and figure out like which one is your favorite. And look, don't go overboard with this stuff either. Pick 2 or 3 of them throughout the month, and use them, because if you do too much, it's just going to kind of become worn out. But I hope that this gave you some stuff to think about for the month of March. Anything else, Caroline, before we close this one out?
No, I don't think so, but y'all enjoy these, have fun with them, and if you make a really cool post, share it in the Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind and tag us in it because we love seeing them.
Yep. So, hey, look, we appreciate y'all listening today, as we always do. We are just one of a handful of podcasts on the Aftermarket Radio Network. You can find the others at aftermarketradionetwork.com. I want to thank our sponsors again, Repair Pal and App Fueled. And look, I've been wanting to say this about App Fueled for a while too, and I should have said it at the beginning, but App Fueled is so much more than just about creating an app for your shop. Like App Fueled is a full-featured CRM that has some of the best CRM functionality out there that you will find, and a lot of people don't understand that about it. You really should go check it out and see what this platform can do, because it really is an amazing way to market your shop. But anyway, thanks again for listening. I hope that you'll listen in again next week, and until then, go fill those bays.